So it's perfect.
It actually fits beautifully, doesn't it?
Yep, it does. It does the job.
Hi guys, Brett here from Hearns, and I'm joined by Simon Healy as we carry on with episode 6 of the HB Racing E819RS build. Now, last time we worked on this, we got the wheels on. We didn't have any electrics in, so I've done that, squirreled that away in the secret chamber in the basement.
Where'd you get this pretty orange wire from?
That is our JPRC wire. That is our own wire that we do.
It's very pretty.
We'll get to it. So we've got the electrics in. We've got a body on. You can see obviously it's clear. This is a Biddy Design Vision Series body. We're actually going to get this one painted up, special edition. So young Matthew Jenkins is going to paint that up for us. So let's take the hood off and have a look
under the hood
and recap of our build.
Yeah.
I'll even run through a few setup things. What do you reckon?
Oh, we could blow anything up.
We could. Now I've unplugged the fan on the Speedy, so it's not going to make noise. You can see here, or maybe you can't see here, we've got a 9 Steps Racing, or 9 Steps Industries Racing.
So what's the capacity?
8,000 milliamp.
That's pretty solid capacity.
That is heat.
You'll smash your 10 minutes easy.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely easy. These will be perfect for e-buggy racing.
And what kind of
e-truggy as well.
What kind of
100C.
Wow.
100C from a 4S pack.
So this will rip awesome.
It should really go. Now the last one that I built did have a shorty pack in it. So given the fact that it's going to be carrying now, I actually didn't weigh the pack, but probably an extra 80 to 100 grams.
When I had an E817,
yep,
I run twin shorty packs.
Yep.
And didn't like it.
Didn't like it?
No, because there wasn't enough capacity with the 2 packs.
No.
And you got to. It was like it was lipo cut off type scenario. The Speedy would cut out kind of about the 7-minute mark.
Really? Yep. So I've seen it before. Lots of people do have problems with runtime, especially if you're on an oil or high bite track.
When you're really getting into like a big track where you're using a lot of open and top end power.
Yeah.
It sucks the battery pretty hard.
These motors can, if you get them dialed up, they really can suck a lot of juice.
Yeah.
And so given the fact, like I said, the last one I built would come in at 3.5. Given that this got a bigger battery, it's probably 3.6. To counteract that bigger weight, I've put more power in it. We've gone.
How else can you fix it?
That's right. So we've gone for a Dash AI Max. And that's a 2150.
Why don't you go to 2600 if you want more power?
No, that's a bit silly because you just tear the drivetrain apart.
That's your MO all over. It's just your MO.
I do like a lot of power, but you've got to have a bit of sense. You do have to have a bit of sense.
Okay.
So I think that's a perfect balance.
Yep.
And given the fact that we've got Dash's finest AI Max Speedy in here, you can dial it all out anyway. You can put as much turbo, boost, punch, softening, compression. You can give it a curve if you want. You can really got all the functions. We can run through that tonight if you want, or we can not. It's up to you, mate. We've also fitted this one out here.
This servo looks really nice,
doesn't it? It is super impressive.
I'm going to just peel these wires back here.
Yeah, we can have a look at that.
Fataba, what is it again?
That is the CB700.
How many? That's like 30 something kilos.
49. 49 kilo servo at a transit time of 0075.
So you're going marlin fishing with it, are you?
You really could. Yeah.
So this is digital.
Full digital.
S-Bus or is it
SR capable?
SR.
Yep. And I've actually I really like these highest mounting grommets.
Yep.
For these. You wouldn't want to go to all this trouble and mount it with. I've put a bit of battery foam underneath to ensure that no dirt and debris gets stuck under there.
Also the slapping vibration.
Yeah, and when you case out.
Yep.
Because I'll probably do that once or twice. It's fair to say.
Every lap.
So we've taken a few precautions there. We have got, you guys saw when we build this one, the Exotech aluminium steering servo mount, I want to call it.
Yep.
So that is really nice. Not necessarily, but it is a really nice touch.
Front bulkhead plate.
Yep, we've got the front bulkhead plate here. Really nice touch. And we've got the full ball raced machined aluminium
bell
crank system.
That'll add a little bit of weight to the car.
Yeah, but I think when you're
over the
talking
plastic, but it's kind of necessary on one of these things, because if you hit something like we discussed when we were fitting the front arms, multiple times.
Me hitting things multiple times?
No, fitting the front arms multiple times.
Yes. Did take a few takes, didn't it, to get those arms on?
You just need you need solid steering componentry so it doesn't get torn apart.
Yep. So it's got the Futaba, what's it? The R404 SBS receiver in there, and that's the one with the antenna for big tracks, big range. We've got some Berserk carbon fibre arm infills, and wing mount.
That's pretty cool. That looks really good.
Yep.
Good, nice edge beveled on it and stuff like that.
Yeah, beautiful machining there by Berserk.
Yep.
And it stops a little twist in the back.
Yep.
I suppose the downside is that maybe it'll break something. But a lot of the guys run that.
Maybe it or you.
No, I'll break something.
Yeah. But all in all, it looks pretty flash.
It looks like a nice build, no? It's come together really nice.
Well, it's just, I mean, you've got the orange wire to complement all the orange anodizing parts and stuff like that.
Well, I did it thinking of you. I thought that you'd like that.
The gold motor really works well in a HB, kind of suits.
Yep.
With all this stuff.
Well, I knew that you'd appreciate the finer things like with the colour coding and stuff.
Yeah, you've done well.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to get a setup? Do you want to...
I want to take it down Flinders Street.
You want to take it down Flinders Street?
Can we do it now?
So, do you want to power it up? Well, hang on a second.
You just said, I want to power it up. I just turned it on.
You did just turn it on. So I've got the Futaba 10PX here, all paired up and ready to go. So we can fire that up. We'll wait for it to initialise. So you can see this steering servo
is extremely
fast, sensitive, and it makes a very unique noise as far as servos go. And it's got so much power.
That's because of the torque. Keep doing it because it's louder than you. You
like that? But you can see, and then being SR and fully programmable, you can turn it all down. You right there?
Just checking it out.
You're not going to break it, mate, not with 49 kilos.
I've just seen how good it is.
Yeah, you're not going to break it in a hurry. 49 kilos is pretty much, that is the industry best. I think 49 kilos for a nitro buggy. Really well priced, but yeah, you can see even like a little flick on the wheel.
So go into your. Jeez, that's just too fast.
It is, isn't it? That's what it looked like if I was driving. So we can go down to the servo speed here on the function.
Just go to speed and turn it down.
So
I'd go 80 on the turn, and I'd
we'll go 75 and 75.
Nah, go 80. The return, you still want the return quick because you got to get it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is live.
See, look, it's kind of more, and you know, I would prefer to do this than I would be to program. 80 looks good. I'd probably go to 85 on the return.
Get it to return a bit quicker, you reckon, there, mate?
Yeah. That actually looks pretty good. And that's a really simple tune that you can do. Yeah. Because you're on the driver's stand, you're not trying to program and mess something up.
Yeah.
And if you do program your servo, and for some silly reason you default the program or whatever happens,
you can actually
you're in a bit of a pickle.
You can cause damage.
Yeah. So by using the turn steering speed.
Yeah.
You can drive your car for a couple of laps and you can actually tune it. A lot of pro guys use that.
Yep.
Like particularly when they go to carpet, you know, off-road guys go from dirt to carpet. They use that to calm the car down and stuff like that. And
since this servo is connected to this receiver, I can wirely read and do all the settings on the transmitter here. As simple as that. So you don't need it. It's a real trend now to have a program box for your servo. You don't need it with the 10PX.
I seriously don't think there's one human capable of using these servos to their full potential.
No, definitely not this human.
No, the speed is just so fast on them.
See you, Beach.
See you, BJ. The steering's so fast on them, I don't think it serves a purpose.
You're definitely not going to be turning it up. You're going to be turning it down, aren't you, to suit?
Pretty much.
And I suppose it's a good place to be. If you can dumb it down a bit, you've still got the torque there.
Yeah.
You're not, even though you're turning the speed down, it's not like you're turning the power down, so you're still going to have full torque.
Alright, so we've got a pretty awesome servo in there.
Got a very awesome servo. Let's get back to the menu. I'm going to turn the radio off now because it looks like you're getting the program box out.
We're going to juice it right up.
Are you? How much boost, how much turbo are we putting in?
We're going to go max.
Well, it's dash AI max. Do you know what I like to do? I actually like to heat shrink a bit of Lexan on the tail here.
Really? Hey, where'd you see that done?
And to get that in and out, and it's a really good feature to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to zoom in here. So what we've done, what Simon's done, while
hang on, let me
while
just
we weren't looking.
set this like this. So I'll
It's
try
nice
and
to see you've done your nails today, mate. I'm really
Yep.
Nan would be happy.
Yep.
All right. So we're greeted with Dash AI Max ESC. What are we looking at?
The program box.
We're looking at the program box. I've unplugged the fan so it's not making noise. Let's have a look.
That's your firmware.
Firmware. That's right. Blinky.
Blinky hit. Well, what's this blinky thing?
This is the preset.
We're going modified.
Going modified.
What else have we got?
In electric,
well, there's only two.
In electric buggy, there is no blinky class yet.
No, so
I'm
we're
tipping
going.
there probably will be in the future because it's pretty hectic to have one speed on these.
True. So we're going modified punch.
You're going up in punch.
It's got 30.
You got 30 steps.
So I like to, if I get something new in electronics, I like to just go right through it and see where it maxes out. So I get familiar with what the adjustments are.
Yeah.
So 15's halfway.
And you can see it's got the asterisk there, and that lets you know that it's the factory setting.
Yeah.
The recommendation.
So for the amount of power this thing's got,
7.
nah, we're gonna start at 5. 5. Because you're a bogan piston head.
That's right.
PWM 8K. You know what's going on there, don't you?
You've explained it to me. I love my PWM at the maximum. I love it. I know that the speed
it makes it super smooth.
Yep.
But it just creates so much heat.
Yeah, but because I'm driving smooth, I'm not getting that much heat. My motor on the weekend didn't get over 42 degrees.
But why do you need it then?
Because it's so smooth. It's like silky.
That's why you're slow.
It's true. It's true.
We're going to leave it at 8K.
All right, leave it at
8K is actually a pretty good starting point.
And then it goes up to 32K.
Well,
Just scroll up there.
16.
16K.
1, 2, 4, 8.
And 16.
I'd probably run it on 4.
You would. You'd probably run it at nothing if you could. It's the micro switch. On the back of that steering servo.
You just get more torque and like a more linear power delivery. Compress.
So that's almost like an exponential. I don't fully understand. It's not something I've played with. I have left it in the factory setting, but it does change the power curve of the motor.
Yeah. Compress is how quick it ramps in.
That's right. There's 30 steps, and I like my stuff to be very linear, believe it or not. So I just left it at the factory setting.
Yeah. Well,
I know some people go up as high as 18.
We're going 10.
Are we?
Yeah. We're going back a little bit.
Going back?
Because that way, if you go now, it's bit dull, we can actually go up.
Turn it up.
Yeah, but if you go up and it's out of control, then you'll probably break it on the first lap, and then we're stuffed.
Jeez, you don't have much faith in me, do you, mate?
At all, no. None. Brake frequency, 16K. I would lower it.
You would?
To 4.
You just, again, you just have a micro switch for the brakes?
No. You got to learn to control your brakes. So 4 will give you a strong brake and smooth brake.
Mm-hmm.
The 16 will give you a soft brake that'll grab.
Yep.
Okay, because it'll come on soft, then it'll grab. So...
and it's all easy to change anyway.
Brake range. So 5 is obviously halfway.
Yeah.
The brake range I don't really change that much from factory setting. Because it it seems to work well. Initial brake, this is one that everyone needs to kind of play with, because some people really use a lot of brake and they're comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Some people use a very minimal amount of brake and that's what they want. So
and there's a big difference between you and I notice. The first thing you notice when you drove my car is it's got no brakes.
Yeah.
No?
So the initial brake is how strong it actually comes on as soon as you touch the brake.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I run 40.
What?
40.
There you go. You've heard it here first. Everybody's getting your tips, mate.
So I run 40% on the initial, but I don't run much later brake. Like it doesn't get. It actually it taps out at 40 and then starts to peter out.
Yep.
Okay, so you don't get that back wheel lock up in two-wheel drive especially, and get that kind of squirmy taily. It's quite different when it's four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Because you've got that grip in the front and the back under brakes.
And the problem when you load too much brakes up on this is that it's actually really hard on the transmission.
And it can lift the weight off the back and swing the four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So on our four-wheel drives, I think we're initial brake, we're like 15.
15.
Yeah. The thing with 10-scale four-wheel drives, because they run plastic spur gears, we're 8-scale steel. If you've got initial brake too high, you'll tear the teeth off as soon as you jump on.
That's right.
You'll hear that kind of sound and you won't know what it actually is. That's the pinion trying to tear the teeth off the spur.
Yeah, and if it's not that, then it's your drive pins, you know, to your
so your brake needs to be ultra smooth but strong.
Yeah.
Brake feel, once again, strong or less. That's just tune it to what you prefer. Sometimes if you turn the feel right down, then you can turn the initial up.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to stay close to the stock ones. I don't worry about the brakes too much, mate. I'm back
hence,
fast.
once again, that's why you're slow. Maximum brake force, 75%.
62.
Hey?
62, mate.
For you?
Yep.
Really?
That's usually where I'm at.
80. 80.
Really?
Yeah, we're on all our cars, 80.
You're a heathen. Well, that's why you
No,
stick it up
we're
the
going
inside.
62.5 for you.
Yeah.
Drag brake.
14.
On a four-wheel drive,
Yeah.
you're an animal.
Why?
Why do you need so much?
Because I just like to unload the rear when I come into a corner.
Okay, so here we go. We're going 14.
14?
Everyone?
It's got a big pinion on it, mate. It's not undergeared. You're gonna struggle to turn that down.
Boost. Here we go.
Boost is not my thing.
It's not.
No, I'm not a boost. I know that you're a boost man. I'm a turbo man. So I keep my car pretty linear until it comes on the straight.
You're like the snail called Turbo.
Yeah, I'm like the snail called Turbo very much. Got a long neck like him too. Comes out of its shell. But I know you love your boost. But like I said, it just gives me a real artificial synthetic feel. If I'm struggling to clear a jump or a rhythm, because it just ramps up without...
Because you've gone past where it needs to be.
Yeah, like
the thing with boost, right? I'm not going to add anything to this because this thing's way too powerful to start off with. Okay, but in 10 scale, I do use boost a lot, and we use RPM.
Yes,
we tune it with the RPM coming in and out. So boost start
as a percentage.
We could just go.
We got none in there.
I'm just seeing where it goes. You
could start at what, at 80%?
Goes to 50.
Goes to 50. Now, what I would usually do when I do run boost is usually about 45.
Yeah. 45?
Start at 45. So you're giving the car like 3 gears. So you got linear, then you got boost, 45 to 90, and then 90 to 100 turbo.
Right.
That's.
Okay.
Then you got your turbo.
I understand all your problems now.
That's right.
Turbo. 0.
I would start at 2. I would start at 0. The thing's going to have that much poke. And I usually tune it to the length of the track.
But turbo doesn't affect bottom end or anything. It's it's sheerly when you come onto the straight.
That's right.
So we're going to go 3.
3.
Just to see what happens.
Generally, I have about 35.
No, we start really low. So
and I usually have
turbo starts at 52%.
No, unless it does, I would start at like 90, 85, 90%, somewhere in there. Personally, because I just want it to come on down the straight.
That's exactly, because you got to be careful. You come out of a corner and you pull trigger too much,
light up.
And you're coming up the up ramp of a jump.
Right.
You'll be out of the complex.
That's right. Or back flips and it can
turbo delay.
Again, depends on the infield and the jump sections. So if there's big jump faces, then you can get away with a longer delay to make sure that you get up the jump faces properly. If it's a really tight infield and you're not on full throttle much, you can turn that down. So
if it's a small tight track, turbo gets turned off altogether.
Depends on the length of the straight.
Doesn't matter, because you got to look at the track for what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got to calculate your amount of corners and how much pace. If you can use the throttle all the way without worrying about cutting in, right? You can make up so much time on the infield that 2 or 3 meters on the straight doesn't matter.
Of course.
So, particularly 100%. If the traction's a bit low too.
Yeah, well that's why.
So turbo Up rate is just how it comes on.
How it ramps up.
Yeah. So
I play more with the down rate than the up rate.
well, they're both on 5.
Yeah.
Which is
So
halfway.
Really depends, because there's nothing worse than if you've got a fast section, if you've got to come off the turbo and then back into it, but not 100%, the car will just feel really doughy because you're not back into the turbo part where it was.
So, yeah, because if you have it if you have it down ramp too slow, it takes too long to come back. Then, yeah, I know what you're saying. So, we're back to the running mode. Forward brake.
I'll probably need reverse on.
Cut off voltage.
Auto. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I always manually set it.
Generally, for racing, I'll turn it off. Just because I'm a bit, but for practice, if I know I'm just going out practicing and it's just me there and I'm not got the transmitter on, I'll run it at like what 3.4.
Nah, you're an animal.
Why?
So 3.6.
3.6 volts.
Yep.
And that's per cell, so that's not discharging. It's 3.6 per cell.
Yeah.
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 All right.
That'll give you at least a good solid 8 minutes of grunt.
Well, the main thing that you'll probably be bringing this one in earlier because you'll be more worried about
it'll
the temp of everything
generate
else.
heat. Overheat.
Again,
Generally, for the first couple of runs,
Yeah.
you don't touch that because you just want to see where it's at.
Yeah.
Neutral range.
Depends on the quality of your radio and how touchy you like it.
Neutral range is 4. I normally have 6. 6 because with all this latest stuff, it is so instant.
There's
Everything
no deadband.
there's no weight.
There's nowhere to hide.
No.
Like, look at the speed of that servo. It's ridiculous.
The electronics, so it jumps.
I think 15 maximum. I think 4 is the minimum.
So 6.
6.
6 is kind of a default in most 10th scale.
Yep.
And if you're running that and you put it in the same, it tends to feel the same. Back voltage, 6 volts. That'll keep it nice and smooth.
Generally, I run mine at 7.4, but with this monster servo, there's no way.
You do not need any more kgs.
There's no way I'd be going up to 7.4.
Yeah.
If I had a servo that was probably a little bit undercooked, I definitely would be running up to 7.4, but not with this servo.
The thing is, even though it gives you more grunt and power, the problem is it's the quality of the gears in the servo.
That's right.
So if you ramp from 6 volts up to 7 point whatever, what you're actually getting is they say you get more torque, but you actually get more speed as well. But you're also putting more load on those gears.
The gear set, bearings, everything.
So if that gear set isn't designed for that amount of torque at 6 volts, so hypothetically if 6 volts it's designed for 15 kgs and at 7.4 it'll go to 20,
Yep.
you really want a servo that's 20 at 6 volts to start off with.
Yeah.
Not go the other way around.
Go the other way around. But it's always nice to have a higher torque unit, especially in something like this.
Yep.
You know.
So in all our 10th scale we use the MKS 599.
Yes. Beautiful servo.
Really good servo. Nice and strong.
How precise are they? That's the main thing, is that they're really good off-center, aren't they?
Maximum power, 100% for you.
And this is a really good tuning aid.
Because you can turn it down, which helps you.
Yeah, especially if there's low traction all of a sudden, if it's a dusty heat.
If you think your car is really nice, like you can drive, like think the power's nice, but it's way too fast, you turn this one down.
And you'll go faster and crash less.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the car will feel the same.
Yeah.
We're back to the start.
Back to the start, that's it. We have programmed the servo.
Yeah.
Do you want to calibrate it or not?
Nah.
No, we'll calibrate. I did calibrate it before.
Because you've done it.
I have done it. I'm going to do some ride height, so what do you want to do? You want to talk about it? Going to do cambers? I mean, everybody's seen this before do that, haven't they?
Yeah.
Alright, I think we button this lot up.
I think
We can talk about some tools.
a lot of people have their own ways they do their setups, where they do it on blocks or not on blocks, etc., etc.
Yep. So I'm going to talk you guys through a couple tools. Camber Gauge. And this is my favourite for 8 scale racing because
It's big
there's no moving parts.
and you can't lose it.
It's big. You can't lose it. And you don't get dirt and grit stuck into the hinge and that. You know what I mean?
Anything that's not mechanically adjustable for camber is good.
Yeah.
Because you can just grab it and go,
That's right.
you know,
And usually you just want to... I usually just checking if the car's straight, not so much changing it half a degree.
after you bend it.
Yeah, because these cars, they, you know, let's be honest, even brand new, like there's such a big car, there's a bit of play, you've got to have a degree of play in there anyway.
We'll go.
So we've got...
And we've got the cutouts in it here for the wheel nuts.
Yep.
So
which
you
is
can,
really nice.
you can run it up on the centre of the wheel.
Yep.
And that clears the wheel nut. It's
nice and big.
it's the height. It's the height of the wheel.
Yep.
So it's perfect.
It actually fits beautifully, doesn't
Yep, it does. It does the job as it's intended to.
it? Yep. Now, another tool that I like to use is these. And our good friend at Berserk
Yep.
machined these up for me. And these are 8 scale setup wheels, effectively, even though they're not round.
But they're flat, so it sits the car on the bench.
Sits the car on the bench.
It doesn't wheel away on you.
No, it doesn't wheel away. And you can use that to do droop as well.
Yep.
You can use that for your cambers. And you can use that for ride heights.
Paul does awesome work. He does all the stuff for my cars.
Yep. Now, one of the most critical tools, ride height. Now,
I thought that was something else.
There's a few. It's not that time, mate. It's not my birthday yet.
Okay.
There's a few tools on the market. This is I really like this one because it slides right under the car. It's fully adjustable, so you can just set it. So this one here, I'd probably go like 26 rear.
Yep.
And we'll slide it under the back there, and you can just.
Oh, you're a bit high. You're a bit high.
Yeah, but you can hear that, so we know we're a bit high. Oh, who put notches on these shock collars?
Don't know, mate.
That is a really good idea. I know that I've gone down evenly on both sides. See that?
Yeah, it's working great, isn't it?
It's working great. Your one? Get in there. Yeah, get it in the bench.
It was in there.
Probably a mil higher.
It was mine that was bottoming out on, mate, not yours.
The reason...
That's 26.
And these are really good, these gauges, and they're really compact.
Yep.
So they're really good to travel with. That's the Aeromax.
This is the best if you want compaction, though.
Yeah.
So if you're actually going away racing, this is the best.
Traveling, yeah. That is really cool. And I use that for...
Simple,
10
easy.
scale as well. It is a little bit awkward at the front with kick up. You know what I mean? When you got kick up, because you can have dirt and you can have mud. So this one here gets right under there, right under the middle.
Gets right in there, eh, Jan?
Gets right in there, and you can measure around.
Yeah.
Oh, what's under there? Oh,
You know,
that's
yeah,
nice.
right. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
What about this one?
What have we got there? So this one here, we'll look on the overhead. This one is a shock length tool. 8 scale guys, some of them do droop as we know it, which is usually up on blocks because of the sag of the arms.
And we're talking about where the centre of the axle is in conjunction to the chassis.
The chassis. So there's 2 units of measurement we usually use. So you either use like droop as in -3 +3, so -3 millimeters under the chassis or +3
above the chassis.
Above the chassis. And in that case, you would use a ride height gauge under the car will be on blocks. 30mm blocks generally is the industry standard for 8 scale. 30mm blocks.
Right.
And then you can measure under the the threads.
Yeah.
As long as you're measuring consistently, but yeah, and it'll give you +3, -3 or whatever. You can adjust it to whatever you suit. Or alternatively, you can measure your shock length. And HB, like a lot of 8 scale guys, and you'll notice this when you build your kit, is they actually machine center points
In the bolts.
in the bolts.
So you can measure that.
And that is exactly for your shock measuring tool. So I know from previous experience, I think the fronts on these are good 106. So you just go 106 here, we can lock it up. And then you can lift it off the ground. This one here fits right over the top shock nut. This one goes on the bottom. And you can put it in the center of the nut and adjust your droop with your droop screw.
Yep. And
to get it to the right height.
Yep.
And doesn't have to come off the car.
And you get it right, left and right.
Yep. Left and right, front and rear. So these ones you might have 106 front, 126 rear. But yeah, so that's a couple of little things that we like to do.
Well, there we go.
And I think that we have successfully built ourselves a HB Racing E819RS. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, that is episode 6. Check out for when this comes on track. We'll get this one painted up. Get some awesome airbrushing done on it, and we'll see what we can do with it. What do you reckon, Simon?
I reckon you should sell it.
Sell it?
Before you break it.
You're just full of hope, aren't you? Full of hopes and dreams.
Just reality.
Just reality check.
Just reality.
I know what I am. Alright guys, well I hope you've really enjoyed the build. Like I said, this is episode 6. This is the final one.
Yep.
Like I said, keep an eye
Great
out
card,
on content.
great kit. Those
How
few
good
extra
did it go
bits.
together?
The parts from Paul at Berserk.
The Exotech parts, the
Those
dash
parts,
gear.
the nice orange wire.
You love the orange wire. The
Yep.
the 9 steps battery. It's all really good stuff.
The only thing that's lacking is the wheels. It needs yellow wheels.
Yellow wheels, yellow wing.
Yep.
I didn't think you liked painted wings.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow for the wing.
Next one. Next time I'll do a yellow wing for you, mate.
Right, yeah, cool.
Alright guys. Well,
Thank
I'm
you.
Brett and this is Simon Healy.
And we're done. We're cooked.
We're from Hearns and thanks for watching.
See you in the next one.